Good evening, good evening, everyone. Yes, this was moving the computer. Say hi, Mr. Meow. Quit rocking the computer, Miss Kitten. Miss Kitten. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I am your host, Tiffany Daniels. And yes, folks, we are going back to that horrible world known as the JRC. But before we get going here, the usual disclaimers. You are going to see the link to this report right there in the description box, alongside the other pertinent links to the Stop the Shocks campaign, including Sequoia's massive archive on the subject, the templates, folks, you know the drill. Sign your name, click on your senator. Any ever present, self explanatory change.org, shut the Judge Rotenberg Center down petition. Now, folks, when we talk about the JRC, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of, I catch clips of surveillance footage of peoples with disabilities being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, please use your headphones, alright? Now, folks, you know the drill. When we talk about the JRC, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of peoples with disabilities being tortured and abused. Young children present, please, for the love of God, use your headphones, all right? Okay, and folks, it is 4:56 in the afternoon. I am exhausted, brain dead, and I swear to God, if one of these crazy people call me with their weird husky mouth breathing and end the phone call while they're calling me for my job, for my work, and ask for my WhatsApp, I may lose my shit. Now is not the time, folks. So if I stumble over any of my words, folks, my apologies in advance, alright? Okay. Considerations and opinions. Remember, we had that little lovely one that we ended with last evening. So we're going to read it again. Cheers, New York, 1979. Over the course of the 3-day visitation, the January team found BRI to be a professionally conceived, well-documented, and rigidly implemented behavior modification program. Its effects on the students was the singular most depressing experience that team members have had in numerous visitations to human services programs. Rather than being a program of neglect which harms children by not assisting them in growth, the BRI program utilizes a current professional ideology to deny children the opportunity to grow, to deny them any choices, to deny them development experiences and decision making, to deny them normal experiences in leisure time pursuits, to deny them any opportunities for fun, to deny them any opportunity to demonstrate anything other than a few pre-selected responses. Thank you! Exactly. Exactly. Terrifying them until they become complacent little robots. Superficially, and on a brief tour of the school, the program is very impressive. Children who are obviously handicapped are engaged in activities and are seldom exhibiting inappropriate behaviors or mannerisms. On longer term observation, however, it becomes evident that the children are controlled, rather in control of their behaviors. Thank you! The activities which they are provided for the vast majority of their day, 365 days each year, are meaningless. Boom! Children remain seated in the same seat at the same table from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., with the exception of the trips to the bathroom, occasional individual work with an instructor, or in some classrooms, short periods of calisthenics. These same children remain seated at similar tables in their residences from 5:30 to 9 each night. During the time they are sitting, the children are to have their feet together on the floor, with their hands folded on the table, unless they are engaged in a background task or other instruction. One of the children required to sit for these extended periods is a young man who has participated in cross-country skiing under the supervision of his family and who has ridden a multi-speed bicycle in 25-mile races. His exercise at BRI is apparently limited to a classroom exercise cycle and perhaps some calisthenics, although his participation in either of these activities was not observed in a 3-day period. The background tasks, which comprise most of the day's work, are manipulative preschool activities. Oh, bam! Stacking rings, sorting boxes, inlaid puzzles, tinker toys. The child puts a task together, takes it apart, and puts it together again. The same toy, an endless repetition. The psychologist on this team labeled this activity organized preservation. What the fuck? Organized preservation. Preservation, really? What does it teach, Doc? What does it teach? For fuck's sake. Preservation is an inappropriate behavior often associated with autism and is manifest by continued and meaningless repetition of an act. Oh, for fuck's sake. So you are going to blame your inadequacies in your fucked up program of hell by saying we're trying to get them to stop acting repetitively. First of all, quit being fucking cookie cutter, alright? Not everybody has the same types of problems with repetitiveness. Not to mention repetitiveness, depending on the fucking autistic, is different as night and fucking day, okay? Repetitiveness does not mean I go back and forth and switch on and off my light bulb, get up, do it again about 10 fucking times in a row. That's another diagnosis, folks, and it's called OCD, okay? I do have OCD tendencies. I have that as a part of my diagnosis. Some form of repetition is like the routine I always talk to you all about that I use in order to get through my day. It's called also by another term and was recommended to my mother and others for treatments when I first started developing independent living skills. It is called reasonable fucking accommodation, which means providing certain things, lists, things that would assist me in creating a repetitive daily routine. That way, I can make sure that all the daily tasks that I would need to get done for the day would get taken care of. You know, you know, get up, make coffee, make sure to wipe up after the breakfast, all that shit, the things I do every day. Routine, it was a reasonable accommodation for me to be able to develop the skills to be independent so I wouldn't have, you know what I mean? It helped develop life skills for me. Okay? Not all fucking repetitiveness is bad. This is part of the problem of the goddamn medical model, by and large, for fuck's sake. This cookie cutter approach that the JRC uses to its extreme is used throughout the entirety of the fucking medical model. I got real goddamn lucky in who my diagnostic team was. Real goddamn lucky. Because they decided instead of throwing out the baby with the bathwater, why not use these things and in order to create a reasonable accommodation that would help me be able to perform the things that would help me to develop the skills to live a more independent life. Makes sense, huh? That's that logic for you. But anyway, I go off topic here. Certainly, it is not a behavior which educators would wish to foster. For fuck's sake, then what are you doing? Students must perform these monotonous tasks to earn any food, which is fucking disgusting. Kids should not have to perform a task to be able to eat their fucking daily meals. Any parent who agrees with this program does not deserve to have fucking kids or be within a mile of one. When children transgress from the structure or demonstrate even minor inappropriate behaviors, the punishment is swift and harsh. A squirt of water in the face, a pinch, a squeeze, a slap, or a cold shower. Or these days they just shock them multiple times. For example, among 33 punishments, if blank blank has her feet apart or stops working, she may be spanked on the buttocks. Because God forbid they're not working 24 fucking 7. If she does a task wrong, she may be sprayed in the face. If she gets out of her seat, she may be pinched on the foot. Now, folks, what is wrong with this? One of the big things. If someone does a task wrong, what does that inspire? You'll get punished if you do anything wrong. It forms a fear of failure that can be fucking crippling later in life. Just saying. If blank makes noises, she may receive a muscle squeeze on the shoulder. If she makes mouth movements, she may be spanked on the buttocks. If blank drools or brings his hands to his head or refuses to comply, he may be squirted in the face. If blank looks away, makes noises, or engages in hand play, he may receive a rolling pinch on his buttocks. In a psychology laboratory, when an animal is subjected to continuous rewards and punishments for his behavior, the animal becomes immobilized when he does not know whether an act will be rewarded or punished. He freezes. Exactly. Such an occurrence was observed with one New York student. The child was assigned to the X building with the Bristol blocks. As he worked, some blocks fell on the floor. He stopped. He looked at the blocks. He appeared to want to pick the blocks up. He knew he was supposed to be working, but he also knew that he could not leave his seat without being punished. So he sat. Eventually, a treatment worker told him to pick up the blocks and get back to work. He quickly complied. Despite the severity of the aversive treatment, the staff at BRI readily acknowledged that if adversives are terminated, inappropriate behaviors will reappear. Then what's the fucking point of using them? That's my problem, folks. It means they don't work. Fear only goes so far when it comes to modifying behavior, even for situations where behavior modification is actually a constructive tool that can actually be beneficial to someone. The level of fear these kids are in fucking makes them freeze, traumatizes them. It makes them very accustomed to abuse and very susceptible to abusive relationships later on. It builds dependency, not independence, compliance, not autonomy. It in no way, shape, or fucking form promotes independence or gives these kids the skills they're going to need when they are going to go into a more independent setting. But I'll go on here. They have not been given sufficient tasks to aid in their skill development. Instead, they engage in meaningless background tasks, nor have they learned not to perform inappropriate behaviors and to substitute with more acceptable alternatives. Fucking exactly. Right fucking there. They are not redirected. They are not taught quote unquote appropriate behaviors, which makes the behavior modification make no goddamn sense. Rather, while the BRI staff is at hand to mete out the aversives, the children are controlled by the threat of punishment. When that threat is removed, they revert to their original behaviors because they didn't fucking teach them any goddamn different other than they're going to get fucking hurt. They have spent their educational years in a program that does not provide developmental education and does not teach them to control their own behavior. So even if you buy ABA, even if you buy it, This looks insane, right? Right? And we've been over this list before, the lists of what they have as adversives. So we're not going to go through all that again. But this makes a point, doesn't it? I think it definitely does. And my God, that takedown, New York. Cheers to you, my friends. Cheers for you. God damn, that was beautiful. Folks, this is 1979, and New York seemed to understand. The Rhode Island location was closed down thanks to this report right here. But somehow, Massachusetts continues to protect these people in spite of the fact that since 1979, the only thing about their programs that have actually changed at all, is the form of adversives they use. Now, instead of spanking, squirting, and forcing pellets down these kids, the cold showers, they now repeatedly shock them at just below the lethal limit. Now, on that note, folks, I'm going to close out for this afternoon. We don't get very many views on this channel, and the few that we do get do tend to get removed from time to time. So, folks, please don't forget to hit that like button, hit subscribe, and don't forget to hit the comments. I do appreciate your time this evening, and as always, we here at Smelly Tea hope you have a good one. Bye-bye.